Story 1. The other day I was on social media and got a message from who I thought was my godmother, Cecilia. She asked me how I was, and I told her that I was fine but was busy with the kids. She said I was so blessed, and I guess the conversation flowed normally. There was nothing to indicate to me that it wasn't her. Then she asked if I had heard the good news about the government grant she got for free and received $50,000, and she never had to pay it back, and she used the money to buy a brand new car. I found this strange, as Cecilia bought a new car last year, and she certainly wouldn't have spent $50,000 on a new car either. She drove a Kia she bought for about $15,000. My godmother wasn't flashy, and she certainly wouldn't have ever spent $50,000 on a brand new car. I asked her what kind of car she got, and her reply was, "Yes, it's true. Mr. David Anderson got me a grant. Click this link to message him," and in the chat was a link with weird numbers and letters. I didn't click on it. Instead, I played along and called my godmother via video chat. She didn't pick up, but after 5 calls, my so-called godmother picked up without the camera on. It was a woman's voice, however, but it wasn't Cecilia. The woman had a very heavy accent. My godmother's from Nevada. She doesn't have a thick accent, or really an accent at all. She kept saying, "Hello, dear. I'm unable to hear you. Let's chat. Let's chat, dear. Let's chat." I told this person off and hung up. They then messaged me asking if I clicked the link yet. I told them off in chat and that they are not Cecilia. The person started cursing at me, screaming, calling me a scammer. They kept writing it over and over in text in capital letters, "You're a scammer." I told them they're not my godmother, and I would warn all of her friends and family. The person started flooding my chat with threats, emojis, and crazy stuff, numbers, letters, whatever came up, just flooding my chat. I ended up blocking them and calling my godmother. Turned out she'd been locked out of her account a few days ago as someone had hacked into it. I later found out the link they sent was likely a virus that would capture my social media account. I want to warn you all about these accounts pretending to be your relatives. It's a very dangerous thing. I did receive a friend request from this David Anderson, and the person was using a stolen picture of California Governor Gavin Newsom. These scammers stop at nothing, and I was so afraid other relatives might have fallen for this if they were not careful or smart about it. Thank you for letting me warn you about this type of scam. My godmother was able to get her account back and now does a 2-step verification in the event someone steals her account again. Story 2. I received a message last week from my sister online. She said that a man named Timothy Jones was a government grant president, and she was able to get $60,000 from the government that she didn't need to ever pay back. I told her I was thrilled for her, and then she said she can get me money too if I speak to Timothy Jones, and gave me his link. She told me to send him a friend request and then a message. I was so excited for my sister, I thought, yes, I can do this too, and I sent him a message. He replied right away and accepted my friend request and told me that this program, that no one has to pay the money back as long as they qualify. I asked how to qualify, and he told me I would need to start by uploading a picture of my state license and a copy of my social security card. He then asked me if I'm registered with ID Me. I told him no, and he made me register and give him the registration info, and I did. I figured it was legit because ID Me is a government site connected with the IRS, and he said it would be used to verify my tax returns as grants can't be given if I owed back taxes. Which I didn't, but he said he needed to check. A few moments later, I got a text alert with a 6-digit code for ID Me. Timothy asked me for the code so he could verify my identity, which I gave him. He asked me to upload my current address and said my check would be in within 8 weeks' time once I qualified. He went silent for a little while, then said that yes, I did qualify and to wait for my check. 2 weeks later, I received an email from the IRS, or so I thought, stating my grant was approved, but I needed to pay the grant tax prior to the release of my $60,000, and that the money didn't have to be repaid, but the grant tax had to be paid first. The tax was $800. and could be paid via bank transfer to an account in Atlanta, which had a company name on it, so I thought it was official. I ended up sending the tax due of $800. I never heard anything again from them. Weeks and months went by and I didn't get my check, and Timothy's profile was gone. I ended up calling a local government office here and explained everything. The lady told me it's likely a scam. I felt so dumb. I thought that was the end until tax time came around and my refund never showed up. Long story short, someone changed my address for my tax refund with the IRS and bank routing, as I always request direct deposit for my tax refunds. I had to contact the IRS as I was unable to log into my IRS tax refund site to check it. My info and password was not working. I found out someone was using my ID Me and Social Security and had filed taxes in my name in another state. It was a total nightmare, and my refund was routed to another account of a person I've never heard of. It took them 4 months to fix everything. In the meantime, I called my sister and told her what happened, and she said she had no idea what I was talking about, and she didn't get any grant. Come to find out, her profile was hacked months ago, and she went online so little onto social media that she never bothered to check into it until people started calling her asking why she was sending messages about grants. The money I was out hurt me financially, but the nightmare of getting my ID Me account and IRS stuff tax fixed was even worse, and that's my story. We'd like to thank these ladies for sharing their stories. Unfortunately, a lot of scammers are using relatives' names, photos, or they're hijacking relatives' profiles and doing these fake government grant scams. Keep in mind, you can't get government money that quickly, that easily, and for free like that. While there are grants in the U.S. government, they take a lot of time, a lot of writing, a lot of patience, and you have to make sure that you're doing it with the correct website. Someone on social media is not going to send you a link to get free money from the government. If you've been scammed and you'd like to share your story, you can find us at scammingscammers@gmail.com. We're also back on Facebook, Scamming Scammers Cyber Education. You can drop us a message there as well. Thanks for sharing your stories. Until next time.